this is one that he drives, I think, daily. So, which is great to see. You know, I think these cars need to be driven. You know, it's no good just having them as a garage queen.
Porsche never designed these things just sitting around.
No, they don't like it.
Well, welcome to a new Dave's Classic Garage Tours video, and today I'm back at German Auto Haus with Adi for the second part of a walk around the workshop. We're stepping it up in the sports car stakes in this episode, as well as a look at the biggest engine car to come out of Europe post-World War II.
So we've got an
It's
SC
a
up
911
top.
SC, yep. So it's a it's been owned by the same owner for a number of years, from what I understand. I think from his younger years. It came to us in need of a little bit of love. It's had pretty much everything done that needed to be done. So it's had engine and gearbox overhaul. It's had new paint. It's had all the rubbers and seals and window trims and everything redone. The interior has been repaired. So it's gone through a bit of a makeover. It's been with us for probably over 12 months at this point.
Right, okay.
It started off with one of those jobs through our COVID time.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a perfect opportunity. The gentleman wanted to make it his daily driver.
Yeah.
So that's the aim for it.
Excellent.
So, which is a great thing. And so it's had a full paint job. It's had the interior done. We didn't do a full new interior because one of the things that we wanted to do is try and keep a little bit of the originality of the car. So the rear seats were still in good shape. The carpets were still in good form. They just needed to be tidied up. We've redone the front seats, so they're basically new. The steering wheel's been redone. So it's basically, when you open the doors now, it looks like a nice, clean, original car.
Ooh. That's different. I've never seen that before.
So this car is 1987.
What?
That one.
I was going to say, well, I've never seen a chromed.
So he's gone backwards in design. So he's made it look earlier with the mirror and some of the other bits and pieces. I remember him telling me about this too.
So this is
this
a Carrera. It would be SCs had been.
No, the SC's that one.
Yeah. If it's 87, that would make it a Carrera.
It's a Carrera. That's right. SC. So it must be one of the last ones because the. Just pop there.
The SC finished in 80. Was it 84? Why am I thinking 84?
Yeah. Another tidy example. It's a beautiful car. I mean, I do love the Targa. It's funny how, you know, what we were talking about before with the Bauer and the Targa were probably the two of the cars that people liked the least. And they're actually, for me, probably one of my favourites, both of them. I think the functionality, again, of the Targa, the rear window, it's a unique looking car. This one presents exceptionally well, drives beautifully. And he's got two of them. This is one that he drives, I think, daily. So, which is great to see. You know, I think these cars need to be driven. You know, it's no good just having them as a garage queen.
Porsche never designed these things just sitting around.
No, they don't like it. They don't like it. So this is an interesting colour. I like the colour. I like the combo of the interior.
I've never seen a chromed roll bar before. So that's sort of stainless.
Yeah, that's right. It's normally a brush.
Sorry. Yeah. That's new and different.
And just the shape. I mean, you know, there's nothing much you can say. You know, it's such a recognisable shape, isn't it? The 911s.
I was talking you talked about their popularity, and I was talking to Max at Vintage Motos. He's got one in a Targa that he's going to do some work on, and I said to him, you didn't talk about your preference for a Targa up until 5-10 years ago.
That's true.
You've been slapped down big time.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of interesting because you wonder what people expect. You know, the designers who designed them were obviously feeding a market, and a lot of people in the 80s, I think, when the Targas were around, probably bought them cheaper and could convert them to a convertible quite easily. Yeah. So there's a lot of cars that are floating around of 80s vintage or even earlier that have been converted as from a Targa to a convertible.
Yeah. Well, Tyler Hoover, on a YouTuber over in Kansas, he's just had his Targa converted, which was converted to
A convertible back to a Targa. That's what I was going to say. So you can imagine trying to find the rear glass or the roll bar.
Yeah.
You know, who's kept all that stuff?
they would
You
chuck
know, they'd be
that.
worth.
Yeah,
That's right. So those that have it probably worth a fortune. But
Yeah.
I would reinstate it back to a Targa because ultimately these cars are so valuable now.
Absolutely.
You need to put it back to the way they are.
There's one. Did you see the car sales for years? There was a yellow one over in WA. That
No.
didn't get sold. For
Really?
50 grand. And it only sold just before COVID. It just disappeared before COVID. It was on there for years. Nobody touched it. And it was only,
No.
there was a yellow Targa. It was like, if I'd
It's
have
in-
had that money,
yeah.
I'd have been straight over there.
It's interesting. I kind of you kind of wonder where people's mindsets are with certain modifications to cars. But you know,
Yeah.
everyone's got their own idea of what they want.
Yeah. So he's he's not going to backdate the bumpers or anything?
I'm not sure what he's doing with it at the moment. I think he's got it to this point, and he's quite happy with it. He drives it, like I said, he drives it every day.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful car. It's
Absolutely stunning.
original. It's
What's that colour? Do you know that colour?
I'm not sure what the colour is. Everyone's got a name for a blue and a silver.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love it. Let's have a look inside. Yeah. That's the G. What's that gearbox called in there? It's a 5-speed, isn't it? That he's got there.
The G50, is it? G50? Yep.
So usable, isn't it? Look at that. Kids up to the age of 8, 9, still got a bit of room in the back.
Yeah, I think it's quite funny because I remember as a kid with Nella and her parents, they had an old Mercedes-Benz Pagoda.
Right.
And we always remember being three of us in the back of it. But, you know, most of them today have got the soft top option. So you sort of look at the back and you go, there's no way three of us would have sat there. But their car actually was one of, quite a number that didn't have the soft top option. So there was obviously a lot more room because there was no soft top bucket there. So that would make more sense while we were, as children, we were able to sit in the back. Yeah. Not legal now.
That's a cracker. Where's he been? Porsche Classic meeting where? In Switzerland. Oh, nice.
Was it 1996?
96, yeah.
Okay, so under this hoist we've got, I think this is a 1986 525E of the E28 era model. One of the, when you look at it today, I mean, this would have been a mid-sized car in the 80s, and in today's terms, it's a small compact. How cars have grown.
Mini bigger than this now,
Exactly right. It's in for some air conditioning work because it's not working, so we've got half of the dashboard out waiting for parts for it.
And the E28 now, is that, I'm certainly obviously the the 535s and the M's and whatever but are people interested in the 520s and the 28s?
I think again, it's come down to the fact that there are fewer of these cars around, so those that are half decent people are looking, you know, and I think it's also what suits your budget. When you're looking at buying into what I would call a modern day classic of some sort, you kind of don't want to blow $100,000 on a car that you might use every now and then. Porsches are different. I mean, obviously they've gone through the growth spurt. These will obviously probably on the way. They're not probably there yet. Most cars that are coupes or convertibles or a two-door version are worth always more money than a sedan.
I think there's certainly more, that RADwood effect as well. I don't know if you're the RADwood movement over in the States or whatever.
It's quite big here too.
People, they're not just looking at, the top-end sports car. It's something that's evocative of their youth and whatever, whether it be, so if it is, not all dads had the 535 or
that's right, exactly right.
This is what they, most dads had as a company car.
A sensible car, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's yeah, that's right. I mean, it was what, I guess, what triggers you and what you grew up with as a kid. You kind of hold those memories, so you sort of want to have something like that.
Yeah.
I remember like this car here. This is a 450 SEL 6.9 litre.
Oh, 6.0. Oh,
so
have to show us underneath the bonnet of this
one. So it's going through a restoration at the same time.
Ooh. What year is this one?
This is the 1980.
80, yeah.
So we're still needing to tidy up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's had...
it feels the engine bay, that one.
It certainly does. In today's terms, it's certainly not the most powerful of cars, but it certainly is what I think Mercedes-Benz represented as, in the earlier days, the model before this, which was the W109, which was 300 SEL 6.3. It was the start of the big engine, sports sedans, if you like.
So 116, what's in Rendezvous?
That's this.
That's it,
No, not Rendezvous. Ronin.
Yeah, but didn't they? There was the big old thing. It was a Ferrari. They put the Ferrari sound on the Rendezvous film. The one. From Paris.
Yeah.
It's actually one of these.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I always thought it was.
No, it's not.
It's not legit.
No.
That's shocking. That's shocking.
Yeah, no, it was one of these.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the uniqueness about this car is one thing is the engine, but the other is actually the suspension setup. So they don't run any springs, they don't run air, they run hydraulic rams, which was obviously state of the art kind of technology, making it a little bit more difficult to find replacement parts for them today. But a great thing all the same.
Cool. You've had some new.
Yeah, so it's having all...
oh, yeah, smell it. Bloody hell, it's beautiful. That's leather, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, M-Tech doesn't smell like
no,
that.
M-Tech doesn't smell like that. Not on a 6.9 litre.
Right. Oh, and the carpet. Oh, he's bloody spent in there, eh?
Lovely colour combo too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all new door seals, so they're still a bit tight.
So how long's this one been in for?
This one's probably, it's been with us the good part of a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
Again, it's had paint. We're just waiting on some parts for it, some trim bits.
What's been... I mean, I know certainly Ferraris are pain in the butt these last couple of years getting hold of parts and what have you. What about the Mercedes and BMWs
Look,
from that era?
Fortunately, there's quite a big following and the restoration side of these model cars. There's enough stock around.
In Australia?
Not in Australia.
Right,
really, there's not much in Australia. There's a couple of people who are importing parts and they're doing that online.
Yeah.
But you've always got to make sure you choose the quality. So I try and buy where I can the genuine, especially door seals and stuff like that if you need it. And what is available is really then making sure you choose the best of what's available.
Yeah.
Same with the BMW stuff. I mean, there's still enough product available for E30s, but it's getting scarcer. Same with the Mercedes. There's still enough. America is a big market, so they make sure. There's always stuff available. I think Mercedes-Benz Classic is another company that's part of the Mercedes-Benz network that has a lot of parts for it.
And was this been Australian delivered, this one?
This one is, yeah.
And many 6.9s come?
I don't know the exact number, but I think back in the day there would have been not a lot, but there would have been a few.
Yeah. Well, it's surprising how much money was over here.
Well, I was going to say, like, to buy one of these back then, you could probably buy an apartment or a house. So that's that was
import duty was pretty astronomical.
yeah. The government loves doing that, don't they?
yeah.
That's their little slice of the pie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So having a little bit, just have a little flash by on this one up the top. What's,
So, yep.
Oh, we got SEC.
SEC 560
Oh,
SEC. So that's a 1990 model 560 SEC. Is going through some updates. It's a pretty tidy car actually. It's 170, 180,000 Ks. We've given it a coat of paint. Interior wise, didn't need really that much, just a tidy up. But just freshen up, like, you know, new tail lights and sort of those kind of things to give it a.
Blimey, yeah.
Yeah,
I've never seen
yeah. Most of them you'll see on this era of car, they've sort of those white reverse lights have gone to a yellow opaque colour.
Definitely. Yeah. Crikey. They're aftermarket or original?
They are what we would call an OEM brand.
Right.
So it's as good as you're going to get for what's available. So I won't recommend anything that's cheap and nasty.
Yeah.
But they're a good fitment.
Right, cool. Nice.
So this is a 1989 944 S2 Cabrio. From what I understand, they didn't make a hell of a lot of these things, but there's a few in this country. This was pretty much the crossover from the 944 to the 968. Yeah. So it runs the same drivetrain pretty much as the 968, so it's the 3 litre. Manual 5-speed, gearboxes in the back, engine in the front, they run the torque tube down the centre. A phenomenal car, really. It's quite a driver's car. It's a well-balanced car, it accelerates well, the 3 litre is a great power plant, and it runs pretty much the electronic ignition and fuel system as anything of its era.
Can you show us inside? Yeah. So is that the same roof as from? Do you reckon that'd be
Be original.
Roof?
No, it'd be original. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's kept in a garage, that one.
Yeah.
Sure.
190 Ks on the clock, so it's.
Yeah. All to thank Volkswagen for if they hadn't.
Well, there's a lot of
right?
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of parts that you find that are tagged with the name, you know, the Volkswagen symbol.
And this is 3.
This is the 3 litre 4-cylinder.
Pretty bulletproof, or?
Yeah, look, extremely bulletproof. I think, you know, like anything, it's serviceability. It does run a timing belt, so it needs to be done, you know, in its serviceable interval. But other than that, everything else is pretty proven. You know, the fuel system has been around for that era of car through the 80s and early 90s. It does what it's meant to do. Yeah. It's a nice thing to drive.
Yeah.
And like you don't really appreciate how well these cars do feel until you get into the twisties.
Yes.
And you understand where the balance and, you know, the braking and the steering and all that sort of engineering side of things really comes into play.
So I was looking at that badging. What's that? 16.
A 16 valve.
Intillier. I've never seen that badging before.
Yeah.
Oh. Cool. Lovely.
The last of the
4-door
E36 M3, 3.2 litre 6-speed manual.
I don't think many 4-doors were sold in the UK.
Well, it's interesting because this car actually was produced in South Africa for the UK market.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We never got them here in Australia as a four-door M3, so they are all imports. I'll say that reservedly. Obviously, you know, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. But as a four-door, it's a unique thing. It's strength is in the body. It's lighter than the coupe. It's probably functional.
Yeah.
So as a car, it presents as good as you're going to get.
Yeah, no, the American podcasters are all the rage about the four doors being, you know, lighter and
that's right,
and more and stiffer, like you say.
Yeah.
More
So
friendly
this
through
is
the bends.
going through a bit of a revamp as well.
Yeah.
There's
So
all new
there's paint,
seals, body seals, and nuts and bolts and stuff that we were waiting on. So
Being
this,
Britain, how long ago did it come from Britain? Do you know?
I think it's been in the country a while. It was owned by a gentleman who lived in Ballarat, and it was his daily driver until it wouldn't start anymore. So then it's come into possession by its new owner, and we've been able to get it up and running. So we've got the mechanicals sorted out.
Yeah.
It's going through a freshen up on the paint.
Yeah.
New window seals and all
Is
the
that
rubbers.
new paint
and stuff.
or it's been buffed? Been,
No, repaint.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say, crikey.
Yeah.
And that's the
3.2.
3.2.
Yeah, 3.2. Yeah, it's a really nice combination. It's very. They love to rev. The M motors do love to rev. They've got enough power to carry the car easily. So they're actually a great balance between, you know, power and weight ratio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. Well, Andreas, that's been absolutely brilliant. So I've sort of sprung myself upon you, but you've been
That's
really
right.
accommodating.
Thank you.
very
We're
much.
actually still in the move. So sorry for the
No,
for the,
no. Hey, look. Well, we'll see the progress as you know, come back if I can
appreciate
at
that.
some point, and you know, see how you're getting on because yeah, I guess
Hopefully that some of these will have moved on by then.
show us the next lot.
Yeah, we've got
nice
a
one,
fair bit on our plate at the moment. But
Cool. Well-
they're the ones that are here. We've still got cars that are actually at panel shops being done. So we've got other jobs that are on the go. Hence why there's sort of things everywhere around the shop.
Well, they say it's one of life's big stresses moving home. I can only imagine moving a
Yeah,
business.
it's been big. It's been big. Yep. But
Okay.
we're settling in, so we're getting there.
Great stuff. Nice one. Thank you very
Excellent.
much, mate.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much.
Thanks.
See you.
I'll go on that. No better shot to end on the pig.
If you love this video, you're going to absolutely love this one. So click on the screen and watch that, and I'll see you in the next video.